Alright, welcome to another episode of Drinking and Thinking.
Yep.
We're playing probably the most relaxing game on the face of the planet.
Yep.
At least for the consoles, called Harvest Moon. Back to nature. They're all pretty much just Harvest Moon. You're playing Harvest Moon and then...
Yeah. Hang on, what's wrong with our controller here? Is it the wrong one? Yeah, it's the first controller. What's going on?
Let's try to push start on.
Yeah. That's the wrong. That's weird. Yeah.
You're playing Harvest Moon. It's pretty much any Harvest Moon. They're all slightly a little bit different, but
Yeah.
I mean, you're pretty much always gonna have a good time.
So, to go along with Harvest Moon, we got kind of a harvesty beer going on here. We've got, how's this pronounced? Schlafly, I don't know how to pronounce it. Schlafly Pumpkin Ale. It's a St. Louis independent brewery of some sort. This is quite frankly the best pumpkin beer I have ever drank in my life. I love pumpkin beers. I look forward to this time of year every year because of the fact that you can get a hold of pumpkin ale. It is so nice that I go out of my way to try new ones each year. And this one is the most... It's what you expect pumpkin beer to taste like.
Yeah, because it tastes like pumpkin pie.
Yeah, and actually, you know what's crazy? We talked about this in the last podcast video, and we talked about how we're going to put up our six-pack games that we recorded last year. But we never put up. And we will put them up this year for Halloween, and maybe even try to bring back that series or whatever. But we tried a different pumpkin beer called Flatjack.
Check out the name of the farm.
Hillbill Farm. Okay. A little more intense than...
I couldn't name it Hillbilly, so...
okay. So, anyway, yeah, is it called Flatjack?
Yeah, Flatjack.
Yeah. Anyway, in that video, I actually said that one was the most... what you expect pumpkin beer to taste like at some point.
Yeah.
And so, but this is a newer video. This is the one you want to drink. It's highly rated on all beer websites. And so it's kind of funny because we usually don't talk too much about the drink we're having, but this is one I wanted to talk about the drink. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's definitely perfect for this particular game and for this time of the year.
Yeah. So anyway, this week's podcast is we actually batted around a couple different ideas what we want to talk about. But I kind of want to talk about how people look down on casual games, you know, and people who play casual games.
Yeah, I think some people might disagree with the definition, but for the most part, I would consider this game, Harvest Moon, a casual game.
Right.
Because the whole point of the game is, I mean, you can play it perfectly, but generally you can just play it pretty casually. You know,
yeah. Especially
especially now, it's mostly on the handheld market, and you're really just kind of supposed to pick up and play and then put it down.
Yeah, it's not an intense competitive game, and you just kind of relax when you play it. And there are a lot of other games that we own that are like that. You know, there are games...
You can say most RPGs are like that,
yeah,
technically.
They're definitely not a competitive nature. So, when people use the word casual game, it brings to mind, I think, to a lot of people, a lot of mobile games.
Mobile games, or, you know, you say a casual game, it's like, you are somehow not a real or true gamer or something like that.
Because you play like Flappy Bird on your phone or something like that.
Yeah, and it's just like it's not necessarily the case, you know, because what you find is entertaining is not what everyone finds is entertaining. So when you say it needs to be competitive or it needs to be this type of game or that type of game, you're not really considering what other people want out of the gaming experience, and that's kind of it's just wrong. It's not like it's not that you're a bad person. You're just wrong, and it's okay to be wrong.
Yeah, and you know, when another thing though is if you compare some of these casual games, quote unquote, on mobile games, compare them to early Atari games.
Yeah, a lot of mobile games are kind of like early Atari games, or
in terms of complexity and you know.
Well, they're very focused, right? They're very simple. Like Flappy Bird, for instance,
has one mechanic.
Yeah, you tap the screen, you know. But it's about getting a rhythm and timing things and just kind of that game. I wouldn't consider it a casual game. Some people do, right? Some people consider it a casual game, but I wouldn't because it's difficult and it's stressful and it's. You have to be really, really good at it in order to get a high score.
I'm a big fan of incremental games.
Incremental games. Can we name off some? Might as well. Right?
Yeah, we can name off a few.
Adventure Capitalist is definitely my favorite one.
Everybody knows Adventure Capitalist.
I mean, you can play Cookie Clicker. It's kind of fun, but I played a little more involved. Like evolved versions of it before I played Cookie Clicker. So, but it's still fun.
Yeah, and what's the other one? Galaxy Clicker, I think, was one I played for a while.
Galaxy Clicker is good. We played a lot of the Android games.
Yeah, I really liked it, and it's weird how there are other games that I've played in the past that kind of have various mechanics like that. I like the idea of buying something that continuously makes me money or whatever in a video game. There are a lot of games that I've played, like, what was it called? Capitalism 2 on the PC? We had like a version of that at one point. It was kind of buggy, but it worked kind of good. And that was a pretty fun game. All you do is buy little like shops and they make you money, and you don't really do anything else with them. And there are other games we played like that and we've all liked. But because it's on the phone, or because it's like like a slightly streamlined, stripped down version, we look at it as not as good, or something like that.
Right. Another example of that particular incident would be let's take Sim Tower.
I want to point out something. This town is fucked up. Because if you don't take care of this farm the way they want you to, or get along with the villagers, they're going to kick your ass out.
Yeah, they kick you out of the town. You'll have to leave.
Yeah. Anyway, we were saying
Sim Tower. I don't know if anyone's played that recently. It's kind of difficult to do it now on a newer computer. But if you get like DOSBox and do a little finagling with like old versions of Windows, you can play it. Right. But anyways, it's still incredibly fun. And look at Fallout Shelter. It's not exactly like Sim Tower, but it has a lot of that, a lot of those aspects still a part of it.
Yeah. And you know what? That's a game that I feel is unfairly getting a pass when other games don't get those passes. I mean, okay, I like Fallout Shelter, but come on. That game has so many ridiculous timers. If you don't buy the lunchboxes, that game is incredibly difficult. Because like I bought lunchboxes at first. I bought a couple, and if you didn't, it took forever to get off the ground. I mean, it took much longer. It was much more difficult. I didn't have as much problem as people who didn't buy lunchboxes. And it is so stripped down version of Sim Tower, but everyone gives it a pass. And I think that's unfair because it's Bethesda that we give it a pass. But you know, the independent people, they make a stripped down version of like Endless Runners or something like that. You know, Endless Runners are fun. We've all played various different versions of it, like kind of like Endless Runners on the consoles. But because it's on the phone, it's ran by an independent person, it's suddenly, oh, that's not good. That's for little kids, or that's for girls to play on their phones.
Right. Same thing with Candy Crush. Though I think
Candy Crush is like, you know, Tetris. I mean, it's fucking Tetris.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, all puzzle games, they're kind of like. I see a connection to Tetris in them. You know, and I've always seen that from. Oh God, can I only carry 3 things?
Yeah, this is not like the 64 version, which we're much more comfortable with.
Right, but we can't get that to record very well right now, so we're playing on the PlayStation 3.
We're playing the one we bought that was originally on the PlayStation. It is definitely different.
And I can move the things around. I can cut the grass, so I need to do this.
Yeah, that's what you want right there, yeah.
Right, like Mean Bean Machine and like Dr. Mario, I always saw them as like Tetris, so when I see the new versions of these different puzzle games, I still see them as Tetris, even though they are different. They are a lot more, you know, complex, or just they play differently. You know.
Do you just be showing around the town?
Nah. No. Oh. Wow, he took it way harder.
Well, that's how a person in our town would react if they were like, "Hey, can I show you around town?" And you said no, I'd be like, "Oh,
come on."
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, he is the mayor of the town. It would be like,
yeah. I don't know if I would turn down our mayor if he wanted to show us around town.
Yeah, it's kind of rude, I guess, if you think about it.
Kind of feel like a dick now.
Yeah, now that we've thought it through. Awkward.
This guy.
Big tough guy. He's got like a towel around his neck.
Yeah,
he does.
He does have a towel around his neck.
I always thought he did, but
in the 64 version, I don't think they show you that much of him.
No. Well, they give you a lot more tutorial in this one than they did in the 64 version. It's like they really just want you to know how to play the game.
Yeah. Well, anyway, what were we saying?
We were talking about puzzle games and how, like, or other phone games like Runners, how they're for girls or not real gamers. I think, technically speaking, the demographic is heavier in favor of women in those particular games, according to the research.
But actual statistics, yeah.
That doesn't really mean anything. I need to go buy receipts.
Sure you do.
Doesn't really mean anything. It's just that's just the way it is, and it doesn't make it any less of a game. I should have taken the tour. It's a little bit different.
Check that sign. It is very different from.
Well, let's see. Haja Winery.
Oh, yeah, it's a winery. Jesus, that is very different from the 64 version because the winery is nowhere near your farm.
It doesn't make it any less of a game.
Yeah.
Because of that. So.
Yeah, I mean, so that also kind of brings up, like, you know, the Wii U. Predominantly, Nintendo games are preferred by younger people, but it doesn't mean that it's not a good game because it is preferred by younger people. I frankly love Nintendo games. I love Zelda. I've really become in love with Mario recently because of playing the first one on their other series.
Everywhere's closed.
Yeah.
Oh, it's too early.
Yeah. I think that's where you buy the seeds in this one. I say 9.
It says 9. Yeah, these people are late.
Yeah, you could technically, I guess, could have cleared some of the field before that.
Yeah, I didn't know that. It'll be alright. We'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not like I said, we're playing this casually because we're not really caring too much. You can talk to everybody at this time, yeah. Oh, it's that one woman right there. Is she the daughter of the vineyard in this one, or is it different?
It's different, I think.
Yeah. So, yeah, so like many of Nintendo's games are always, looked down upon because like, oh, they're not as hardcore as playing Call of Duty or, Battlefield. Yeah, that is not true at all, because freaking Zelda is fucking hard. It's a hard game to play. And,
yeah, I guess that's kind of like the question. Is it supposed to be, are hardcore games just the ones that are difficult?
And, shooters aren't even that difficult.
That's what I was going to say. Shooters are not difficult. You play them and you generally win. When you play a shooter, you generally win. Now, you play online, it's a little bit different, but you get the hang of it and you do win, I would say probably about 30 to 40% of the time if you're not very good. And more if you are pretty good.
Yeah.
But that doesn't... They're not difficult.
Yeah.
So, like Flappy Bird, how many people can get to, 50 or 60 links in Flappy Bird?
Yeah, I got to 15.
Whoa, that's depressing.
Wow, that is just way too real. That is way too hardcore for this casual game. I mean, these games. That's the thing also about these games is to call one hardcore and the other one not hardcore is like totally subjective based on what you're talking about. Because if you're talking about these people are dealing with real bills and money problems and shit like that, you compare it to a game where you spawn indefinitely killing everything with unlimited ammunition. I mean, that sounds less hardcore. And so
as another game that's kind of like this is the Item Shop Reciteer.
Item Shop Reciteer.
If you play that game casually, you're going to lose and you're going to feel bad.
That game, okay, you're this little Asian girl.
I'm going to buy 4 of these.
That is, not the brightest, and you got a flying fairy around you, and that game gives me ulcers because you are staring down the barrel of a gun that is $500 million in debt or something. I can't remember what it is. It's some ridiculous debt that you gotta pay, and that is stressful. That is hardcore.
Yeah, you pay every week. It's hard to describe.
And then I play Gears of War where I'm this giant with a chainsaw cutting everything in pieces. That's not hardcore. That's me relaxing.
Yeah.
Because I've dealt with bills.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely... I guess you gotta have... It's gotta be a certain age for you to understand why something is...
Are we just ripping the weeds out?
Yeah, you can rip the weeds out and you can move the rocks, but you can't. I don't think you can do that to the logs.
No, you can't. So yeah, I mean, but not to deny that the competitive nature of shooters and that they're that is also hardcore. I just don't get why people. The whole hardcore terminology is something that needs to disappear in video games because it weakens the gamer society as a whole because it makes us turn on each other. It makes it so that we don't value all video games as art, which they really are. And that's gonna be a whole nother damn subject though.
Yeah, it's too much to talk about right now. But right now, I could be doing so much better at placing these farms. I've actually mapped it out before, like how to get the highest return based on the amount of time you have in a day, and like how many fields you can plant, chop, water, on low scale items versus high scale items.
Right.
There's a whole lot of stuff going into that, but what I'm just doing it right now. Not really giving a shit. Not giving a shit about organization or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah. What were you saying about? What are you supposed to do with that?
I don't know what you're supposed to do with that.
I've never seen that before.
But I don't think it's in the 64 version. We've mainly played the 64 version.
Yeah.
I know there was one for Super Nintendo, but we got it on the Wii. We had it on the Virtual Console. We never really played it. And this one, we didn't really know existed at the time.
It's going to deliver to the house. I think it's in there.
What's that? What's at the house?
The seeds.
Oh, then like your trunk?
Yeah, I think so. I wonder if you can expand your backpack in this one.
I hope so. That is really super annoying. I know you had a backpack in the other one, but I think it was like much bigger. Much bigger.
Yeah, I think it had 8 spaces.
Yeah. So, anyway, what I was saying before is, yeah, it makes the gamer community turn on itself. And we've got enough to deal with already. We've got, you know, there's politicians, there's, you know, media in general is against gamers. All of these things, you know, are perfectly good topics on their own, but it all connects to this one thing, and it's where if
there's a division.
If gamers are divided and against each other just because one person likes to play games like this or games on their Nintendo versus playing Halo or Call of Duty or, you know, one of the other games, then you're not going to have a good, solid argument about why video games matter.
Yeah, well, you're also going to just kind of like devalue or decredit yourself, because what you're saying is only my opinion matters, and anyone who talks like that generally doesn't get much attention. Like,
yeah,
no one really pays attention to it. It's like, well, okay, goodbye, you know. Because if only your opinion matters, then they have no reason to listen to you.
Right.
Like, you're not going to listen to anything they say, so...
What part of the world are we in that at 5 o'clock it gets dark?
I don't know. Same part of the world that starts their work day at 9 o'clock.
Yeah. Jeez.
I'm going to bed. I don't really know what else to do.
We could go into town and talk to
Yeah, I probably should do that.
But, you know.
I need to fill my water bucket.
Yeah, definitely need to do that.
I love rainy days in this game because you can just not do anything.
Yep.
I'll probably smash rocks till I fall asleep too.
Yeah. I'm going to open up this bottle of beer here.
Is that the splitter?
Yeah.
Should go ahead and split. Give me some of that too. Down this real quick.
Really enjoying this pumpkin beer and slightly cooler weather we have in our neck of the woods today.
Yeah, it's really been real nice today.
And then mixed with the game, it's just a really relaxing time.
Very relaxing experience. Yeah.
And, you know,
that's a huge part of video games for us. Has always been to, you know, you go to work and it's stressful, and or if you're younger, you go to school and it's a little bit stressful.
We're not going to debate that. We're not going to debate that.
I mean, it's exhausting.
Yeah.
At least say that.
Yeah.
And you want to relax. And some people, you know, you can kind of relax with action. Okay, this character is a potential romantic interest character, and I do not feel comfortable romancing this character at all.
Yeah, because she's clearly 12 years old.
Or age. Look, she's got like fucking, you know, flood pants on.
Yeah, yeah. She will not be the one we romance. We'll probably romance the
Karen one.
Yeah, the one we
She's the most adult-looking one.
She's the one we always romance and all these things. It's just fucking. Where is this place?
It's like the inn.
This place
bar.
is so different compared to like 64.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so anyway, yeah, when you want to relax, video games in general are very relaxing.
Yeah, and so it's all a part of it. You relax by, killing people in a video game, or you relax by planting a farm. You relax by just having fun, like in a beat 'em up or something like that.
Yeah, we've done a whole playthrough of Turtles in Time ourselves, and beat 'em ups are fun. They're mindless. This game is fun because it's such a peaceful area you live in,
and you do that on your phone. They're all going here.
Yeah, they're all going. We can go there and talk to a lot of people.
You do it on your phone. Sometimes you do it throughout the day. If you have a break at work or you're in the restroom, I mean, we've all done it. And you're just relaxing. You're just having fun. And even so, you know what? I think I've got some money. I'm gonna buy a beer.
Yeah.
I think I've got a little bit of money.
We have a phone.
Thank you. Well, I'm glad you do. I don't have that much money.
Grape liquor. What is grape liquor, and how do I get it in real life? Because I want it.
I think that's just wine. I think that's what they call that. It's not liquor, though.
Oh, wait, you know what? It's brandy. Grape liquor is brandy.
Oh, okay. So
it tastes terrible. So don't drink that.
Don't get that.
Never mind. Yeah, this is wrong. Grape liquor is terrible. Oh,
I'm whistling.
Oh, okay.
Oh, this guy is serious.
Yeah, he is. So yeah, and so
as I was gonna say, some people relax by playing a game that is action-packed, or some people relax by playing a game that's really questioning your existence and existential beliefs and all that. All those.
Like every Bioshock game ever made.
Bioshock, or something like Braid.
Yeah.
Just intense thought things sometimes are relaxing for people. But make no mistake, when you are playing a game, you are relaxing. You are not doing something. You're not doing work. Right? You're not stressing your body in a manner that is not like. It's not getting you something, right? You're not doing it for a goal. It's not a job.
Yeah.
Now, some people do it for a job, and they probably aren't as relaxed when they do it.
The esports guys?
Esports guys, or, testers, or...
right.
If you go outside the bounds of a video game, people who are playing football professionally.
Right.
As opposed to, keep pressing the trigger button.
Speedrunners are also another rule.
Speedrunners might have a little bit more fun with it than...
Yeah, I mean, speedrunners, you can watch any of the SGDQ? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
That's... They have fun. I mean, it's not like it's super...
I gotta break the big...
Can you break the brake on with this one? No, you can't.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if you can or not. You might be able to, but it might take like a minute hits.
Alright, I'll forget it then.
But yeah, if you look at
what I was going to say was that since people have different opinions on what game that they play or think other people should play, that's perfectly fine. But the dismissal of certain game types because you don't think they're good is not a positive thing. It's not progressing the gaming culture, right?
Right.
It's not progressing games in general.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not doing anything but just being negative.
Yeah,
that's it. That's the long and short of it. I know you want to think differently, but that's what's happening.
Yeah.
So I think that it's perfectly fine if people will be like, "Oh, I don't think that the Final Fantasy franchise should go away from a turn-based system." That's a fully formed little opinion there, and you can have your arguments based on that. But to say, "Oh, it's going too mainstream," or
or that anyone who believes otherwise is wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, you could say that your opinion is right, but I mean, other people can have their opinions too. I, quite frankly, loved Final Fantasy 15's combat style in that demo we played.
Yeah.
And, we've been playing these games since the beginning. Like, some people like these things, but what the hell is
a pathway back there?
Who is this crazy bastard?
Oh, I think he stays on your farm. Or something. Or maybe he comes by every year. It's definitely a little bit different. The mysterious salesman came by in the 64 version, and you never know when he's coming by. But I think this guy's always comes here on the second day, and he sells you like gold seeds or something like that. I can't remember. But I think he eventually goes away, but he comes back next year.
That's weird. Make sure you water your plants. Anyway,
I didn't fill up my canteen.
That's too bad. So, yeah, what was I saying before that guy showed up?
That asshole showed up.
He really distracted me.
Other people can have their own opinions.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine to prefer a certain type of game or gameplay style, but you cannot just, like, attack other people for liking other things. Because it's, quite frankly, childish. And, you can also not like certain things, too. Like, I'm not a huge fan of... I'm personally not a huge fan of MOBAs, because I'm terrible at them. Absolutely terrible.
But I love them.
He loves them. He's amazing at them. Way, way better than most other people. But, I don't hate them. I like watching them. But you don't even have to like watching the games. You can just have no, like... You can just not play them. Yeah. That's the great thing about video games. You cannot play them. And it does not affect you at all. Almost drink your drink. But yeah, you can not deal with it. And it won't affect you at all. And, I don't want to say that people aren't allowed.
Get off my property.
I don't want to say people aren't allowed to criticize other people's game choices. You are allowed to say so.
You can criticize other game choices, you can criticize other games, and game developers. You can do whatever you want. I think the point that we're trying to make, and maybe not as eloquently as we could if we weren't drinking, would be something along the lines of that you should at least respect other people.
Yeah, and the whole casual versus hardcore thing is kind of made up. It's kind of made up by the people who make the games.
So yeah, well, I would agree with that. I would say that I think the more accurate way to look at it is that it's completely subjective.
That too.
But I would say it's probably a marketing ploy to some degree. Like, oh, you're going to be hardcore to play Crash Bandicoot or something like that.
You know what's hardcore? That woman was selling wine out of her kitchen. There's no way she is reporting that to the global government.
No way.
That is hardcore as fuck, because she is getting away selling something without paying any sales tax back to the government. That person is hardcore.
Yeah, that person is hardcore.
She is. She has more balls than any of us, because the rest of us are like so afraid of the local government that we would never ever attempt to do that.
She got more balls than I do, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, what was I saying? I think I was talking about
Crash Bandicoot.
I just brought that up. Yeah, I mean, I guess I can segue into what I was going to say, and that is that, like, I personally don't think that some things are very hardcore at all. Like, I don't think Crash Bandicoot is very hardcore. I don't like it.
Right.
I've gotten into a few arguments over it because because it was brought up. I said, do you like Crash Bandicoot? I would say no, and they would just get really angry with me, like why how could you dislike that game? And then I would proceed to explain it. But if you're asking someone why they don't like something, you really shouldn't expect them to come up with this like wonderful thing that will make you smile, right? Because you like it, they're gonna say why they don't like it.
Yeah,
it's gonna, that's different. That's different. That's a different angle. Like if someone's constantly badgering you, like why don't you like Candy Crush, and then all of a sudden you say, oh, because I hate puzzle games or something like that. Then all of a sudden,
yeah,
it's different things. Like if you have a reason why you don't like it, and someone asks you, go for it. Let them know.
Yeah,
because they might not know why you don't like it.
Yeah,
and if you're constantly producing just a logical series of arguments,
yeah,
then you can come to an understanding with each other. But if you're just overgeneralizing and just going with the crowd and just constantly berating something, it's like the E.T. game. Like a lot of people didn't play E.T., but everyone talked about how much they hated it.
Yeah, and that's actually a good point, because nowadays people go back and say, oh, that's the worst game ever made. You're comparing it to games nowadays. Compare it to other Atari games. We have an Atari. We have Atari games. We have E.T. Compare Berserk, which everybody freaking loves.
Everybody freaking loves Berserk, but I hate that game.
I don't like that game either.
The noises are horribly annoying.
It's not very fun.
The control is awful. You die for no reason that I've been able to determine. Apparently if you touch the wall, you die or something.
But then you compare that to E.T., a game that has a start screen.
A start screen
with music.
It's got music. It's got I don't know. It's got a story. You can actually beat the game. Like it
has a fully realized idea what you're supposed to do, because you got the scientist takes you back to town because he's interested in you, and then the G-Man, he takes what you got on you, and Elliot revives you if you die.
A lot of different characters. If you don't know much about the Atari 2600, it could only support 2 sprites on the screen at a time, so the fact that they're able to create several sprites, it's also got Easter eggs in there. Mm-hmm. There's a lot going on. Now, I'm not saying the game is without flaws.
Whoa.
Get the fuck away.
We gotta deal with this guy.
Actually, I think that's her brother.
Is it?
I think so.
Are you sure? Because I don't think he is.
Fuck this guy. We need to deal with this guy.
Yeah, we gotta take him out. If this was Gears of War, this guy would be toast right now. Whoa!
They're just going on an adventure.
We gotta go see what this is about.
Yeah, we gotta go play a little third wheel. Works every time.
Yeah, it works every time for this guy.
Yeah, this guy's the ultimate. He's the manliest man in the world. He can have anyone he wants.
He's actually the ultimate cock blocker.
That's true. That is true.
I guess you can't
take
care of
the gnomes back here.
Really?
Yeah, the gnomes just have like their own little
They have a house?
They have a house.
What? This is so weird.
Yeah, everything is different. Everything is different. Oh, this guy's part of the Tea Party.
We're gonna avoid any of that. So
they're all part of the Tea Party.
Oh man, this is either someone's dream or someone's nightmare.
Anyways, other things that I don't consider to be very hardcore, and I want to say this is going to be an unpopular opinion, but that's fine, right? You can let me know if you absolutely hate this. That's perfectly fine. I can take it, right? But Game of Thrones, I do not, because I consider it to be more like a soap opera than anything else. But I don't go out of my way to yell at people for watching that show.
Right.
I let it go. It's like Doctor Who. It's another one, another bombshell I dropped there. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is, if I went around talking about what I consider to be hardcore, you guys would be losing your freaking minds. So, something you really got to think about, right? Every day is like, what if everyone else went around going crazy like they do about my shit?
Right.
But that's kind of another thing to just kind of think about when you're considering what's a good game, what's not. It's all about what you think is a good game, right? Yeah. Because if you're playing a game that you hate, stop playing it.
Yeah.
And if you're playing a game that you like but no one else likes it, stop caring.
Yeah.
Don't
fuck
care.
Them.
Yeah, fuck them. Just play the game. Because, even if the game's not popular, it's not going to get a sequel. As long as it's not only digital, you'll probably always be able to play it.
Yeah. Like, let me think here for a second. A game that I like that no one likes. Circus Maximus for the Xbox. The original Xbox. Not Xbox One, original Xbox.
Yeah, the original Xbox. People don't like that game?
No one likes that game.
I did not know that.
That game is so hard and so fun.
I'm playing this game casually, but I've done everything I want to do in the game, and it's 1 o'clock.
Yeah, now, can you imagine if we were done working by 1 o'clock every day?
That would be awesome.
Oh my god, we would play so many goddamn video games.
Oh yeah. What the hell is that?
That is Panzo Patanzanite.
I'm just gonna break it.
Anyway,
if I can. I need to break little rocks.
Anyway, actually I don't think your weapons level up in this. I think you buy them.
Oh, what? We need to find that shop. We should have taken the tour.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, Circus Maximus is not really well liked, and mainly because of the weird control scheme. No one could really get it down, and it's just not well liked. But I freaking love that game. It is so fun, and I like Cell Damage. Cell Damage is not well liked either. I don't know if you know that.
Cell Damage?
No.
It's like 4-player fun on the GameCube.
No, not liked. As far as I know. Everyone seems to say they don't like it. There are other games that we own that are even more not liked and that we really loved, and I don't care. I mean, I don't care that some of these games are not liked. Okay, big bombshell, Final Fantasy 13. Fucking loved it. Nobody likes that game.
I like the first one. Final Fantasy 13-2 was
not
almost as bad as Chrono Cross.
I wouldn't say it was that bad, but I won't say it's any good.
Okay, well, it was definitely as big of a letdown.
It was as big of a letdown, yeah. But it was at least functional and playable. Chrono Cross is almost unplayable because of how bad it is. And that is an unpopular opinion, and we don't care.
Yeah, we don't care. Yeah. It's different strokes for different folks.
Oh, second Deus Ex. Deus Ex Invisible Warfare.
Yeah. Like that one. I actually don't like the original on the PC.
And everybody hates Invisible War. Loves the first one. But I don't get it. We played them. We know the difference. We don't like the first one. And
it's gonna rain tomorrow. I don't know what I'm gonna do with myself. I talked to everybody I wanted to talk to.
And you know what? It's fine that people don't like the games we like. And it's fine that we don't like.
Yeah, because we own them and we play them. And every once in a while we find other people who like them.
Yeah, there are other people like us. There's other people like everybody. So if you like a certain game and you don't like certain games, that's fine. You will have friends. There are people out there who are exactly like you. And that's, I think, the problem that people need to realize is that you're not entirely unique.
Yeah,
there are other people like you, and that's perfectly fine.
I think that
it's actually a good thing that there are people like you, because If there weren't, the games that you like wouldn't be made.
Yeah, that's true. They would not make the game that you like if you were the only person that liked it.
Yeah. And the fact that they make games that you don't like, it means there are a lot of people who like those games. And unfortunately, you're going to have to just deal with it. And as long as you deal with it with a slight degree of civility, then you're not going to make anybody mad. You're not going to have a hard day of arguing your point on Facebook or something like that. And you'll be able to enjoy playing the games you do like more, because you're not going to be like defending your point. And that's the point I want to get across, is defending yourself is pointless. Why even like talk about to people who don't like the games you like? Why even talk to them about it? They're clearly not going to play it. If they were swayed by any reviews at all, quite frankly, nobody would be playing any of the Modern Warfare games, because they get consistently around 50%.
Yeah. Also,
so
yeah,
that clearly has no meaning whatsoever.
Yeah.
And games like Evolve or other games like that would have much more players than they do, with their much higher reviews.
Yeah, and I think what we've kind of mentioned, like I brought up a couple times, is since you're able to play them, and since you very easily find people who enjoy the game, actually your time is better spent. Instead of like arguing that a casual game is bad, you should be just spending it finding other players that play the game you like.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have a much better time anyways. You're going to find people that you actually want to talk to as opposed to people you don't want to talk to.
And that's what the beauty of the internet is. There are hundreds of forums dedicated to all these different types of games that you can talk to people that like the same games you do.
And so that kind of brings up, I think, what would be a good... I don't know if you have more to add, but it brings up a good point, I think, for another episode, would be talking about the digital only releases of games, like what the problems and advantages, or the pros and cons of that
right.
are. Of course, a little bit of a spoiler would be something about how they, if it is an unpopular game, you might not be able to play it. Even though you like it and a couple other people do like it, you may never be able to play it again.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another thing. The other thing would be, well, there's a couple other things we were talking about wanting to do. So
yeah, I think we've said all we need to say on this topic. I know I'm out of drink, so I can't really think.
Yeah.
And so I think we've approached the end on this one. So we probably wrap it up. But we want to, as a parting thought, I want everyone to think about what was hardcore when you were younger. I mean, okay, so it depends on how old you are.
Right, yeah.
When we were younger, though, the hardcore game is Mega Man.
Mega Man,
or Super Ghouls and Ghosts, or Ghouls and Ghosts. Those are like the hardcore games when we were younger, because nobody could freaking beat them.
Yeah, those games were ridiculous.
And, when you say, oh, that game's not hardcore enough for me, are you saying that the games you grew up with were also casual? Because nobody in their right mind will call Mega Man casual.
No, it's not casual. It's very simple, though.
It's simple.
It's about as simple as some.
It has 2 buttons.
Well, yeah, it can only have 2 buttons if you don't count start or select.
Yeah, and so, you can't really call that as hard as, say, I don't know, Batman Arkham Knight, which the control scheme in that game is a nightmare.
It is. It's actually really hard to pull off some of those moves. You know, just because.
It's actually a reason why we don't play it that often because of how hard the controls are.
It's not very. I mean, I guess you can say it's not very intuitive, but it's actually just very, very complex. A lot of thought goes into it.
And another really hard game when we were growing up is beating Final Fantasy for the first time was difficult. But no one is going to say that it's not hard now. It's still pretty difficult. And it's the spring, yeah.
It's the guy's relaxing place to talk about casual games.
But nowadays, you compare that to, say, Final Fantasy 15. That game is still pretty difficult. The controls are much more complex. It's much more complex than any shooter. And yet, Final Fantasy 15 is probably going to really be listed as, a more casual game because an RPG is not as competitive. So, the idea that some games are casual because they're not multiplayer online, shooters, is ridiculous.
Yeah, and speaking of which, we kind of touched on a little bit, but to be fully confirm it, when I play MOBAs or a shooter, I'm usually drinking something, and I'm usually not taking it all that seriously, and I'm usually just casually playing the game.
Yeah, so, yet usually for some reason he's number one on the team. So I don't really fucking know why that's possible because I can't play those games. And we're both pretty decent at shooters. We're usually in the top 2 or 3 people, but we don't really pay much attention when we're playing them. We just screw around.
Yeah, well, I'm playing Mega Man at the edge of my seat.
Yeah.
It's just
when I play Super Mario Brothers, I every time I play it, it's like, how the heck am I going to get past this part? How does anyone get past this part? And it's mind-boggling, really, when people say certain games are not hardcore. Every game can be hardcore if you make it a hardcore game. Every game can be casual if you make it casual. If it's fun to screw around in. It's all about the gamer themselves.
Yeah, I mean, that pretty much says it all right there, so.
I think that's where we're going to end it at.
We to be honest, what we talked about earlier, talking online, forums, people like that. You go to just a very specific game and you talk to people on the forums, you're probably going to find some pretty positive people and pretty positive things to talk about. So, if you want to leave it on a positive note, there are plenty of people who are perfectly reasonable. I'll go back to my farm.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go sleep at 2 o'clock. I don't know what else to do. There's some people in town I need to talk to.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, there are a lot of positive people you can talk to about all your favorite games, and if you're into the older games, you go to AtariAge.com.
Yeah, Atari Age. I think there's even a Nintendo Age now.
Well, BioWare has their forums, though. They don't really need a whole lot of help. I'm just saying that every game or franchise or game series has a forum you can go to and talk to people. And I highly recommend that. I highly recommend spending your time more positively rather than getting into arguments with people, because it's not gonna get you anywhere, and it's just gonna be a waste of your time, which is the worst thing ever. If you waste your time, it's just why do that?
I just now noticed there's a blue dot in the middle of our screen. There's something wrong with our screen, and I am freaking out on the inside about it. I only see it when it goes to black.
Okay, I was gonna say I don't see this blue dot.
Yeah, I saw it when it went to black. Anyway, yeah, I think we've said all we can say on this subject, and I think this is where we're gonna stop the video. But
hang on, wait. You sold on credit. Okay, so they're not paying him. They're not paying him money.
The doctor didn't pay him money,
and he's struggling with bills.
But how much?
Oh my god! I don't know if I like this town.
Yeah, I'm gonna kick your fucking ass. You should pay, asshole. No, it's not.
Oh, sweet. Perfect.
Okay.
Karen's the daughter, I guess.
Daughter of this guy. Which is completely different. It's usually potpourri. It's like the daughter of the seed merchant.
Right, but she is usually the daughter of the person with the family business.
Yeah. Thanks.
Did he pay? I wasn't paying attention.
I think so.
Said thanks, so he must have paid.
Oh yeah, we're gonna totally hit that.
Yeah. Casually though.
Casually. So anyway, I think that's where we're gonna actually stop the video. So the next video we do, we might still be playing this because I freaking love Harvest Moon. I don't know if that's exactly what we're gonna play, but yeah, I don't know exactly what our topic will be next time. We've had a few other ones that we talked about we're gonna do, but
yeah, well we'll figure out what our next topic will be about. If anyone wants to leave a comment of a topic you want us to discuss, go ahead and do that. If not, we'll just come up with our own topic.
Yeah.
Or maybe we'll start using social media to come up with topics for the podcast.
We do have a Twitter page and
Facebook, and we have our own website, but
we'll deal with that more later. I want to ease into the whole thing. We do have a website. We do other things besides these videos.
So we will see you next time on the next episode of Drinking and Thinking.
Yep.